thing that happens is divine when it comes to our walk with who God is. You know, we are people who are called to see things differently. That we don't have the same outlook or the same mindset in the world. The crazy thing is that's something we got to train ourselves with the help of the Holy Spirit. And I think it's so appropriate because it comes into, it connects with our message today. We Nehemiah 2, the title, The Reproach of God's People. So there's a lot of stuff going on in Nehemiah. We read it last week. The walls was destroyed. They were taken into captivity 17 years later, released. Some of them went back to Jerusalem, but the problem with Jerusalem is it had no walls, no gates, and they had enemies on every side of them because they were the only nation that was praising God. All the other nations was pagan worshipers. So seeing this really bothered Nehemiah. And so now Nehemiah is making a decision. And I want you guys to understand this about Nehemiah. I went and I looked because of the way things are worded, and I wanted to find out a little bit more about Nehemiah. And then I found out that he wasn't born in Jerusalem, right? Which makes sense. 70 years of captivity meant that he would have to be an old man. But he was actually born in Babylon. His father, his ancestors came from Jerusalem, so there was no real connection, with the exception that was my bloodline. That was where my ancestors life. And it's really huge because it showed a person who respected and loved their heritage of where they came from. He was so stoked that he was a member, if you would, of the nation that God has chosen to be his own. And I started to think about that, and I'm like, how about us today? Right? We are Gentiles that have been grafted into Jesus Christ. How many of us have that mindset of Nehemiah? I've never seen the promised land. I wasn't even born in that place. But I am in love and I am proud of my legacy of being a Jew. In our case, being a Christian. Right? And if we have this mindset, then you know what we're going to do? We're going to do everything we can to become all that we can to reflect this love we have for Jesus. It's really crazy. You know? I'm reading this stuff and I'm doing all this stuff and I'm like screaming at a girl actually. You know? Like, man! You know, it's not like the first time I read this book, and I'm like, I didn't catch that before. But he's not from Jerusalem. His heart for God is unbelievable. So let's get started. Because we're going to look at the reproach of God's chosen people and the land that God calls his own, and how the church today, how we can be just as messed up when it comes to our relationship with Jesus Christ. Nehemiah 2:1, it says, early the following spring, in the month of Nisan, during the 20th year of King Artaxerxes' reign, I was serving the king his wine. I never before appeared in his presence. Serving his wine. I had never before appeared sad in his presence. So the king asked me, "Why are you looking so sad? You don't look sick to me. You must be deeply troubled." Then I was terrified, but I replied, "Long live the king! How can I not be sad? For the city where my ancestors are buried is in ruins, and the gates have been destroyed by fire." Now, what we find here is a clue, okay? There's a gem here. And I think it's really cool because we're talking about this season being a season of prayer. With that said, I want to ask you guys, how many of you guys been really thinking about this? This is a year. This year so far, I mean, the whole thing about this year, our theme, if you would, is prayer. How many of you, I don't want you to raise your hands, you can be honest, are diligent in praying for our country, for our churches, for the lost, for the saved, right, and for each other. Anybody? Okay. Yeah? That's honest, yeah? Sometimes you might like you or not. But here's the thing. The reproach that is happening to God's people is coming because they neglect position themselves right for God. Right? We had our stuff on Wednesday. And Paul was leading and did a great job. One of these things, if you guys haven't heard it before, we've heard it before, but what about our time? How have we given our time as a portion of time to God? Right? If we do a time, what was it, 2.4, about 2.5 hours, yeah? How many of us spent 2.5 hours praying? Yeah? I gotta be honest, me too. I mean, I get like 1 hour, hour and a half, that's kind of cool. That's as far as I get it. After that, I kind of not praying. If I keep going that, I'll be honest, I fall asleep. But that's a long time to stay still for me. So at my size, if I stay idle too long, I'm in a very dangerous place. So about an hour and a half is the length. I'm done. But every day, we should be giving 2.5 hours of time of worship. And yet we have the mindset that we come and we do church once a week for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And a lot of us won't show up. A lot of us say, oh, my schedule. A lot of us will say this and that. And then we kind of wonder why everything is messed up. The word reproach basically means disgrace. It means that, you are like in dismay, disarray. You know what I mean? It's like people look at you and they're like mocking you and scorning you. And that's what's happening to Jerusalem. Now, this is bothering Nehemiah because Jerusalem is supposed to be the city of God. And now God's name is in shame because of the people. I want you guys to hear this because we are Jerusalem. We carry the name of God. And when we bring disgrace to the Lord's name, it reveals that the walls that protect us, Jesus, is falling down and we need to do some repairs. So he talked about the month of Nisan. In order to catch the clue here of what they're saying, we have to go back to chapter 1. And he was talking about the time when he said, a couple guys came from Jerusalem. And so he went to talk to them. And he says, in the month of Kislev. In the month of Kislev basically means around November, December. It's that autumn month, okay? And so, at the time of Kislev, he met with these guys, he heard about what's going on, and according to what we read, he went into prayer, he was weeping. Now, the next time things are brought up, it is saying that in the month of Nisan, this is about March and April. So what is the big clue here? So the big deal I think God is trying to say to us is this. Nehemiah spent 4 months in prayer, seeking the Lord's advice and wisdom so that he would have the authority and power, the ability to help rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. Once again, we see the importance of prayer. Prayer must be the source of every believer's strength and relationship. So, when you look at that, I went in a little bit because, God doesn't put stuff there for nothing. So I went and I dig a little bit deeper just for my own study. And I found out that this was also the time frame, that time frame of the months when Jerusalem and its walls would be restored. It is also a time frame given in the fulfillment of prophecy by Daniel when Jesus would be presented to Israel. Right? And so now we see how Old Testament and New Testament is coming together and once again unifying each other, showing us Bible, there's a lot of numbers, and a lot of those numbers have a lot of meanings, right? So I kind of look at, keep the numbers, I'll just kind of do this, but this really makes a difference, because if we start putting the time frames together, we find that there are pivotal points in history. So, I think this is cool. So Nehemiah now, we read, is that he's serving the king, and the king noticed that Nehemiah is looking depressed or sad. And so the king asked Nehemiah what was troubling him. And Nehemiah he was terrified. You guys know why? Because if the king felt that Nehemiah was ungrateful at his job serving him, he could have him killed right away. Okay? In my presence, I don't care if you're sad, you better be happy. If you make me sad, then I'm going to get rid of you because for good. Off with his head, kind of stuff. He makes me miserable. I'll be happy if his head is off. Never again to come in my presence like that. But it's really cool. I see the power of prayer in this whole thing. For months he was praying. The king notices that Nehemiah is, having problems. The other thing that we gotta get before I get this forget is that what we see here is that because Nehemiah is the guy that does all the food tasting, he's basically the chef guy. He's the one that's deciding the food and what they're gonna eat, and he tastes the food and the drinks, okay? And he pretty much makes the king's food stuff. And because of that, he becomes a very trusted friend to the king. So this guy is probably hanging out with the king a lot throughout the day. Right? So the king goes, I want some grapes, because we're going to eat grapes before the king can eat grapes. Right? I want water, we'll drink water. So this guy is at the beck and call of the king. It is very likely that they have become very close friends. In fact, I did a research on the cupbearers in the study, and I find that a lot of the people, kings, would take the cupbearer person and share a lot with them and would really respect their opinion. So Nehemiah and the king had really a good relationship. And so the king notices Nehemiah, right, sad, and so he asks Nehemiah what's going on. It says that he was terrified, and then he uses wisdom, right? Again, the power of prayer. When you're kind of terrified, how you kind of work things out and you're like, I didn't mean to share all of that, right? Because of the power of prayer, the Lord has given him wisdom and discipline. Able to be slow to speak, right? Quick to listen. And so he's talking to the king and he goes, well, how can I not be happy? How can I not be sad? My dad's, land, all my ancestors, they're in ruins, and people are making fun of them, right? It's a disgrace. Because how can I not be sad when the city that my heritage comes from is in ruins? And I started to think about this, and I thought it was very cool lessons as a leader. You notice Nehemiah never said anything about Jerusalem. Right? He could have said, Jerusalem, the city where my ancestors come from. He never mentioned anything. What was the big deal about that? Well, we have to understand that Jerusalem has always been the chosen nation by God, and because of that was considered to be a rebellious nation against all pagan nations. And so Persia and Israel had a lot of conflict history. So think about this. I'm the king, and Paul wants to reveal his kingdom, but for all history, Paul's kingdom just irritates me. Always making trouble. Don't want to bow down to my rules. Don't want to serve our God. And now his dad is in despair. It's a mess. And he goes, King Junior, would you come and help my father's land, my ancestors' land? And it's really messed up. Jerusalem. I said, Jerusalem? And those stinky buggers that made history bad for us, gave us all kind of problems. So I started to think about this, and I really thought, because what we find in Nehemiah is a very great example of a leader. We did our book, right? And there's a difference from a leader and a manager. Nehemiah led with his heart and with the Lord before him. He didn't mind the management. Anybody can manage. Not anybody can lead people to grow into the likeness of Jesus. And here Nehemiah was this leader that said, you know what? You would just help me save my city. Help me to rebuild my city. And so I love it because Nehemiah is being honest, but you know, a lot of times you only have to share the facts. You don't have to get into details, right? Sometimes we get into details, but that becomes something else. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. Too often our faces, all of us here, okay, and we're training so too often us, all of us here, our faces show our troubles and, you know, our depression, our desperation, and then people will say, hey, everything okay? The Christian thing to say is my life is good, yeah, but you're not. I love the fact that Nehemiah didn't share all the facts, but he wasn't even alive. I am troubled. So even us here, as believers of the Lord, when there's something wrong, we need to be wise to, you know, when we ask them, the people who are getting asked, got to be wise to say, I'm not okay. You don't got to share details. Just pray for me. If the Lord moves you to share more than that, then that's fine. Now, when faced with dilemmas, we don't want to be a crybaby. A lot of us say, oh, I don't think that's such a, no offense to the girl, but you know, it's such a whiny thing. Yeah? And, you know, I don't like bore you with my problem. I'm a man. I'm a believer. Right? Jesus said, just claim it. Yeah, he said, claim it in his name. And then when you read on to scripture, he said, use wisdom to confess. That's the part we love. Yeah? So when we say we're going to name it, what we do is something that is not doctrine. We name it and claim it. And that's not the same. Say, oh no, the Lord said everything will be okay. I don't believe everything will be okay. I don't know about you, I've been a Christian a long time. Every now and then I get shaken. And I need somebody to tell me it's okay. We're here for you. We're going to pray for you. We need to be people who are willing to share our concerns and ask people to pray for us. Not even the details, okay? Your marriage struggling, you know, even if you're just struggling with your faith, nothing wrong with that. Right? Nothing wrong with struggling with your faith. Nothing wrong with, oh, you know, I get a hard time dealing with Waianae because I don't like you. Can you pray for me? Because I don't know why I don't like you. Maybe you do, maybe you don't know. I don't know. That's the issue. This is an example, yeah? Well, you got to pray about that because maybe God is teaching you how to be vulnerable and that irritates you. Maybe the Lord is pressing you to say, now you got to get out of your box and make a friend. That irritates you. Why not let anybody in? It's just me and you, God. Well, Jesus surrounded himself with some pretty good guys. And by the way, they were really messed up. But because of the love of God, they were able to come together and be a powerful witness for the kingdom. I want to be careful. I want us to be careful, though. At the same time, I want to give this this advice, not to go around shopping for advice. You know, like, okay, I cannot deal with Yolanda, so I don't talk to you. Hey, so what is your thoughts about me and Yolanda? And then I went to Oku. And then I went to, you know, Paul, David. I went to everybody. And finally, when I got to Gerald told me what I liked. It's called shopping for advice. And so once Gerald said it, all you guys never agreed with this, you guys don't know nothing, but Gerald's a very smart man. Because his and my idea line up. So when we shop around for advice, we get into trouble. This is what you need to do. You find just 2 people, right, that you really trust. And if those 2 people's advice come together, which you're praying now, I'm not going to pray, I'm going to pray, God, give them the wisdom. No. You ask God for wisdom, right? And then you ask God to bless 2 other guys to come and give you confirmation. And maybe out of the 2, one will say, oh, yeah, no, I don't like you too. Yeah? But the other says, you know, what do you think God's trying to say? Right? You think God's trying to do something to you? Then you're like, now you go back into prayer. Does it make sense, guys? Yeah? Because it's easy for us to shop around. We need to be careful of talking to people in a way that, you know, we put our problems on them. So like I'm going to talk to Luke and go, hey, Luke, see, I'm trying to get around here, but it's a trip, and, you know, and I don't know, but Luke was certainly kind of feeling my vibe, and he goes, yeah, I understand. All of a sudden, Luke carrying my burden. That's not what we're supposed to do. We're looking when we say, so I just want to share with you what I'm going through. What do you think? You don't need to know all the details, you just need to know facts. Because as a believer, your job is to immediately go into prayer. So, Nehemiah didn't say to the king, right? I'm sad because, you know, he didn't go, oh yeah, you know, I'm sad because the people of Israel are lazy. They had 100 years to go fix up this place. Nobody did anything, which we will study history. We find that they did try one time. They were stopped and they never ever did it again. So when we are trying to resolve stuff, we cannot be putting people on the chopping block. Yeah? We always find it easier, well, the client told me things, and so I start dropping names because it makes it easier instead of us just dealing with the situation. That is called gossip. Yeah. It's not called advice. It's not called seeking advice. It's not called anything but gossip. Because they don't need to know the details. When you're troubleshooting, you just need the facts. And then through the facts, you can figure out how to do the rest. Does that make sense? So, I love it because Nehemiah wasn't gossiping about his people. He could have, right? It would be legit. It wouldn't be gossip because they was lazy. Okay? They was broken. They was living in fear. You know, they tried and they were stopped. And they never tried again. 100 years later, still struggling, still not changing. You know, and we might look at this and go, oh, that's all messed up. But how many of us get stuck in a cycle like this? Yeah. And then we can be on the side. So I'm having this issue, you know, I don't know, 10 years in, but I still don't like him. I never ever solved it, right? It's like on and on. Hey, I tried, but you know, one time it just made me feel like, what? And I was like, what that? You know, and then after I was like, forget you. And then what do you know what they're talking about, right? We cannot do that. With God's people, we rebuild walls. That's what we do. We remind them about the setting foundation, which is Jesus Christ, and then we start building the wall, protection through Jesus Christ, to ensure that we live the good life. Nehemiah 2, verses 4 to 8. The king asked, well, how can I help you? With a prayer to God of heaven, I replied, if it pleases the king, and if you are pleased with me, your servant, send me to Judah to rebuild the city where my ancestors are buried. The king with the queen sitting beside him asked, how long will you be gone? When will you return? After I told him how long I would be gone, the king agreed to my request. I also said to the king, if it pleases the king, let me have letters addressed to the governors of the province west of the Euphrates River, instructing them to let me travel safely through territories on my way way to Judah, and please give me a letter addressed to Asaph, the manager of the king's forest, instructing him to give me lumber I will need it to make beams for the gates of the temple's fortress, for the city walls, and for a house for myself. And the king granted these requests because the gracious hand of God was on him. I read this, I got all excited, right? Because the king asked Nehemiah, what can I do for you? Right? How can I help you? Nehemiah knew at that moment God had given him favor. The 4 months of praying started to reveal itself. And Nehemiah was very bold to go on to say what he needed. I love it because he says, okay, so the king says, what is going on? What do you need my help with? And he says, and then I prayed to God, right? One of those arrow prayers. You guys ever had those arrow prayers? You see God open up the door, and then now the answer that you need, or the statement that you need comes up, and you kind of freaked out. You guys ever got that? And you go, okay, Lord, help me now. You know, I had these moments several times in my life with the Lord, and I shoot up this prayer when I'm praying, and the doors open up, and I go, all right, Lord, here we go. It's like, I need you. And Nehemiah, even after 4 years of praying, shot this arrow prayer. I call it arrow prayer. Because it's just one time, bang, it's gone. And I really love this because I want us to understand this, okay? I don't want us to get stuck in some kind of systematic plan of how to get prayers answered or how we should pray. I want you guys to know that lengths of prayers are awesome. We should be spending that time in prayer. But I also want you guys to know that you don't have to pray a long time to get a quick answer. Right? Sometimes you don't have time. Nehemiah never had time to go back and pray. He goes, hey, king, hold on, let me come back in 4 months and I'll let you know what I need. He, in his prayer, okay, this is, I want you to hear this because it's not stated here, but it's going to reveal itself. When he was praying, he wasn't just praying for the wisdom, that God would give him wisdom. He's praying for the wisdom on what to do. So in the 4 months, he had planned with God how to restore the walls of Jerusalem. Think about it. He never just was, I'm praying for 4 months, Lord, let the king have favor on me, send me back to Jerusalem. The Lord said, the king says, okay, you're going back to Jerusalem. He never, prayed about the guy. He never prayed about what he needed. He wouldn't have known what to ask the king for. Because as far as he's concerned, the king wasn't going to let him go. I wouldn't let you go. Right? If Frank was the guy that was tasting all my food and I became really good friends with him, I'm not going to let that guy go. He went, I could die after this. He's faithful to me. Years, I could have died, but he made sure I never died. I'm not going to give up this guy. He would have to find another faithful person like Frank. Right? But the Lord gave him favor. He gave him a favor by giving the king confidence that there was somebody just like him that would take care of him. Somebody who would not have anything to do with God. You see, one of the things we get all nuts is because we got to see a whole God picture, right? No, the big picture is God is the big picture. And all these different things, we read in the Bible, Pharaoh and all these guys trying to lift their hands to God. All became people that God used to lift his hand even higher. So we have to be really wise. Like Paul was saying, right? I could have got what about this? And what about that? It was great. You see, so he prayed, and I love, he shot another prayer out there, and I love that because it just reminds us that, God hears fast prayers. But sometimes we don't have time to think about the situation. Right? Lord, here we go. Bless me through this situation. Get me through this. And then later on, you sit there and goes, that was crazy. I did this. I don't know how I got through, right? Which we know it was him, but you know, the human mind, you know, I don't know how that would happen. We know it was God. And we give you thanks for that. So he shot that prayer to heaven. And then the king asked, how long? Nehemiah gave him a time frame. And I don't know about you, but, you know, he had to replace 7, 10 gates, I think it was total. And I think the wall, I couldn't remember the wall, but it was like 8 feet wide, so much miles long. I can't really remember. So it wasn't going to be like 1 week. Yeah. It was going to take months to do. Yeah, so he gave the king the time frame, and the Lord favored Nehemiah. The king never goes, well, I think you should, bring it back 1 month. The king automatically agreed. There's something about praying and coming in agreement with God's plan. You guys ever notice that? When you know that God is calling you to do something, you pray, doors open up. You notice that when you're praying about making something happen, God, that I'm way involved in that, but you want to put God on the side with you, well, everything shuts down. This is a crazy sign that God is in agreement with Nehemiah, because Nehemiah is in agreement with God's plan. Something for us all to remember. The Bible says there's nothing that we cannot ask Jesus for that God won't answer us, right? So we ask for stupid things, right? We ask for whatever it may be, more money, a better job, all this kind of stuff. Yet we have no idea just how blessed we are at the place we at. So we think we make more money, we're more happy. Now, what's the bottom line of this? You make more money, you struggle more, right? Because you spend more, you got to tithe more, but I don't want to do the tithe stuff, So now you start battling because you're spending more, you don't want to tithe more, because the more money you make, the more you give, right? Supposed to be that way anyway, right? We think, now you put yourself in a different challenge. Now, I'm not saying you cannot pray for a good job. If you want to pray for a good job, awesome. Make sure that God is praying. God has that for you. Because maybe your season is right where you're at. I've gone through several different things when church was having difficulties, and I worked at really stinking jobs. And if I got just one job that I thought was great, it turned out to be horrific. It was like, man, I swear, I was working with Satan right next to me. But here's the thing, whenever we are moving forward in God's plans, the devil will always send opposition. Always. So the king asked Nehemiah for a time frame. Nehemiah gave the time frame. And then, with boldness, now, this guy, he's been planning this. He knows, and he automatically, just the time frame, the king said yes. It's like 3 things the king said yes to. If I was a king, I'd be pushing it, So Nehemiah goes, oh, by the way, can I get some letters from you? Right? One, to make sure that when you travel, he has safe travels. And then, by the way, can I have some of your lumber from your forest? That's the king's forest. That was just for his use. And he goes, oh, by the way, can I have some of your lumber? Yeah? Royal lumber, And in fact, he had that guy in there, and he made sure that they get it all ready for him. It's crazy. Right? The favor of God is unbelievable. But again, when we are in the will of God, you have to be bold in the sense that you trust in God. It's easy to be bold when you sat down, prayed, and planned with God His plan to unfold. When things start to happen, you start to realize that is God's plan. This is what happened. So the next move is this. I need some letters and some lumber. Thank you, King. Right? The king agrees. Nehemiah 2, verses 9 to 10. When I came to the governors of the province west of the Euphrates River, I delivered the letters to them. The king, I should add, and sent along army officers and horsemen to protect him. But Sanballat, the Horonite, and Tobiah, the Ammonite officials, heard of this arrival. They were very displeased that someone had come to help the people of Israel. So, what we can take away from this is that a lot of people, okay, and even in us here, the church today, a lot of us can have the heart of Nehemiah, right? We can have the wisdom, we can have the vision, even the plans and faith, but the one thing that they stop short of is the actual going out and doing something, right? They go, oh yeah, the Lord showed me this, the Lord showed me that, oh, the Lord gave me wisdom for this, what are you going to do about it? Well, not me. But that's for somebody else. I just wanted to share with you. No, if God spoke to you, then there's a plan. Right? You know, a lot of times we go, oh yeah, this, yeah, that, but we never ever want to get our hands dirty. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Yeah? Because we all know what I'm talking about. Because I was there too. And sometimes even as a pastor, I'm like, oh, I don't even touch that. That doesn't get involved. Right? But if God is speaking and God is revealing, then we got to get our hands dirty. We got to get work. We got to do the work. We got to do what is needed to be done in order that reality can happen. So, one of our prayers, my prayers, is that the church does grow, right? But part of the church growing means we got to do something. Anybody know what that is? You guys don't know, I know what that is. We got to go out and witness. They're like, oh, see, I need them. You're going to put me on the spot and I got down there and tell somebody about Jesus. Yeah. Yeah. You don't got to preach to them. You don't got to stand on the road, turn the word, you're going to hell today. No. Simple. Right? Opportunities will arise according to the Lord's plan. Have we prayed every day? Wake up, Lord, how are you going to use me today to bring glory to your name? How we can witness to one person. And it doesn't mean you have to share Jesus, the name of Jesus. Right? And you got to witness it. Simple as that, hey, the Lord bless you. Yeah? Or something like, like this one person came up with something this week, last week. I needed, this crap was this boy. He was that where? At a cookie. So I'm like rushing in, right? And the guy's not sitting down, and then I went up, and then he's a young kid. He was uncle, right? And then I went down. And then, what did you get? Well, I just see what shit that I saw down. So I said, you know what? I'll bless you with that. Everybody you shit. So you didn't get anything else, you're hungry. It was no, I just wanted $1 for the shit. So I said, okay, order. And he goes, oh, I can get one small, okay. So whatever size you get from there, that's the love. Just make it the biggest you have. And then whatever you get. So all he did was order this giant shake. And then I talked to a little bit and said, hey, so what's your name and everything, and tell me his name. And he kept looking at me like that was weird. Yeah. But one, they said, God bless you. Second is, he making a connection that God had something to do with it. We're bad at walking the share. You know what I mean? Simple. You don't have to testify. If God calls you to witness and speak, then so be it. But simple gestures of kindness. Isn't that what the scripture says? Kindness lead people to repentance. I don't know if I ever run into that boy again, but I was so blessed that the Lord had given me the ability to buy him a shake. But I could have been. He says, well, Lord, you only wanted $1. So I gave him $1. But I had more than enough $1 to give. If I don't know, I don't know. Right? I got caught up in this other person that You know, they did something and then they give them some money and they go, oh, I don't need money. I go, well, it's not that I'm rich, but when I have, I can give, and when I know more, I know more. They say, okay, thank you. You know, it's like trippy. I say, God bless me, but yet, no more, no more. You don't have to give a real big, you know, oh, please, it's not about me. You know, I have, and I want to bless you. Could I do something else? I mean, we can always find use for our extras. Anybody have problems finding use for the extras? Yeah? Nobody. But here again, if we pray that our hearts are in alignment with God, when God gives us opportunity, we automatically people. Does that make sense? So, our spiritual enemy doesn't mind, you know, that our heart is right with God. He doesn't mind that we have a religion. He doesn't even mind that we're bad out every day. He doesn't even care if we pray. His one sole gratitude, or what troubles him, is when we take action, is when we move. Because when we move, is when we come in agreement with God's will. We can think about God's will and not move. We never come in agreement with Him. Because the agreement was that I'll be over there. But the Lord, I'm right here. And I say, well, you never come in agreement with me. Step in the river. Oh, it's wet. I'll wait. Give me one more sign. One more sign. One more sign. We are mature, or should be mature Christians that spend fellowship with the Lord, that we gotta understand this and know this right it up. God is real. And when He speaks, we need to obey Him. Even though it doesn't make sense to you. Right? This one guy that day tripped me out. He came up, and you know the guys who will come and ask you this stuff, right? Everybody knows. We kind of picked up a skill to notice. No matter how well they dress, you know something coming up. Here comes this one guy the other week, and he goes, oh, you get loose change. And I hate that. Because, that's a, it's like a person, you get married in Waianae and the one chick who used to come and go, I can have 75 cents. Like, you know you have $1, just ask for $1, right? That's my mindset, that's why I do prayers. But this guy said, oh, loose change. He was it wasn't going to this guy was that night saying, I knew he was going to ask me because he was watching me, I was pumping gas. And I was like, oh, so I'm rushing. You know, you guys ever do that? Turn like around and, okay. I even prayed that God will guide me past this person and, shield me. And as soon as I put the thing in and take a walk, comes around, you pop up with it. You know? Because you get this change. But I'm praying while all this is happening, right? And it says, Lord, if the guy pop off, I don't give him. But isn't it funny that when the guy pop off, I'm like, oh Lord, you're supposed to work against the plan. So what I did was, I kept my bag thing, I kind of was changed because I just throw change inside. And so I dumped them all out into my hand. That's a pretty good part. It goes into my coin jar, yeah? You know, coin jar, right? And I was like, what kind of food? So maybe I should take some out. Right? Because, that's plenty. Right? And then I said, just keep it. I just went like this and I said, God bless you. I put him in there and he looked at me and he's like, he goes, what's your name? And he's like, huh? What's your name? He said something I can't remember. I said, God bless you. Have a good day, okay? And he was like, yeah. And they threw off. Right? Gang, I'm not rich. But I know that I have enough to share. And when we get that, and maybe never have money, but if I had a sample, we give a sample. It can be anything, okay guys? Our heart has to be sensitive. See, we can have the heart of God, the vision and everything, but don't do nothing about it, then the devil loves that. Look, they had a good thought. That's all that was. They never had good action. That shows that I still get chance to move in my kingdom. This Sanballat and Tobiah, were upset because somebody was coming to take care or was concerned about the welfare of Jerusalem. Now, I went and studied a little bit about these guys. You know that they come from the bloodline of the Jews, but they hated. They reached them. Their only goal was to see Jerusalem weak and vulnerable, which led to God's children being weak and vulnerable, stressed out and in bondage by other people. They had joy seeing them in agony. Now, I want us to see this because when Nehemiah was praying, the 4 months, the Lord was giving favor and they were planning all this stuff, right? You notice that there was no attacks that was taken. The attack came when Nehemiah stepped out and says, now I'm going to leave my place of comfort and I will assist this problem and direct it under my authority. I am going to be the one that leads Lord, and I'm going to direct things. And at the moment he did, now the devil came in and started sending these people to fight and push him back. God, I want you guys to know, God's people, whenever we move forward, you will always have Satan pushing back. He doesn't want to give you an inch of ground that he has. But he has no choice but to give us all the yardage we need and that God desires us to have. Because that is God's plan. He already took care of Satan. Our job is to stand in agreement with what God has done through Jesus Christ and command Satan to move away. And when I say move away, it doesn't just mean that he's going aside. It means that no matter what kind of stuff he will send to me, I'm not going to move. What that does is people who are believers who are watching are edified and built up and strengthened. So that's how a believer has. So that's what we need to do. All of a sudden we start praying, Lord, give me strength to be just like that. And the Lord starts to reveal to them, through the Holy Spirit, that you need Jesus. Are you talking with Jesus? Right? So it's really huge. Some people fear stepping off of God, but we cannot be afraid of that. You know, a lot of people, I know a lot of Christians, I should say, a lot of people will know about Jesus. But the problem they have is when they come into the church, the thought of coming into the church and Jesus changing them. It's always like, oh, but I like sucking them up. I like getting high and all that stuff. Well, here's the thing, okay? The Lord says, we got to follow the rule of the land. The rule of the land is a rule of the land. He puts it there. But not only is it there because of that, but he's looking out for our welfare. You know, I was a drug addict and alcoholic. Right? And if I didn't find Jesus, I'd still be on the streets right now, living on the beach. Right? Moving my cat every time the city and county coming for cleaning. So I go from Cal to Papua, removal, anybody know what I'm talking about? Yeah, we got the olive girl back there, everybody who had done this and got really bad at drugs find that their life was limited. Their life goal, the ability to experience life in their fullness was limited. And now that I found my way to the Lord and I've been following the rules, my life has expanded. And now I realize that I am a rich person today. I don't have a lot of money, but I have the right perspective. I have the right train of thought. I own my cars, right? I own a house. I mean, we're starving. My kids, because of my heart change for God and live for God, my kids will never experience what it's like to be homeless. My kids will never experience what it's like to use the same clothes several days My kids will never experience what it's like to not have water running in your house, because it's either rent or water. And then if you're having a bad month, it was rent or water and electric. I mean, my kids have no idea how good they have been blessed because of my faith in Jesus and how Jesus has flourished my life. Right? And you talked about maybe one time when you look back, you goes, man, in the land of Canaan, I get all this stuff. Right? Now my job is to teach my kids. Because this is what happens with the people of God, right? They got so fat of the glory of God and the blessings of God. Generations started getting sloppy in their worship. So my job is to teach my kids to always look out. Because we can see already the reason why Jerusalem went into bondage was the lack of reverence. From the very beginning, that was just the place for God. Right? They were flourishing people. They always had. But you notice in Scripture, they always go down to a little remnant, a little group. Because they become sloppy and find a few that are serious about Jesus and that they God. So we have to understand that we got to teach our kids this, right? My parents never taught me that. And so that's why I did what I did. I came from a broken home. My dad is an alcoholic. My mom, was always getting beaten, and she became an alcoholic, and now alcohol was all over the place, right? And I gotta be honest, we was stealing cigarettes from the freezer, stealing drinks from mom and dad. They was too loaded to catch us, right? But it didn't make it right what they failed to do. And I don't doubt that they loved me, but because they never followed the rules, they didn't follow the guidelines that God has. They didn't stay within the walls of the protection of Jesus. They walls came tumbling down. Now they were invaded. So it's very serious, gang. Yeah. Even for us adults, the ones that get it, just because everything is good for us, if we get sloppy in our relationship with Jesus, the Lord has no problem stepping back. People will say, oh, but he's not an Indian giver. No, when the Lord steps back, guess what goes back with him? All the blessings. Now you go and fend for yourself. You see, I gotta be honest with you, I don't know how to begin to tell you that if it wasn't for the Lord in my life, I wouldn't survive today. And I'm not making it up. Right? So, you're going to have opposition. You're going to have people come. Yeah, but we cannot be afraid to step it up. Not step it up. One. Okay. Nehemiah 2, 11 to 16. So I arrived in Jerusalem 3 days later. I stepped out during the night, taking only a few others with me. I had not told anyone about the plans of God, I have not told anyone about the plans God had put in my heart for Jerusalem. We took no pack animals with us except the donkey I was riding. After dark, we went through the valley gate, passed through the jack as well, and over to the gate to inspect the broken walls and the gates. Then we went to the fountain gate and to the king's pool, but my donkey couldn't get through the rubble. So, though it was still dark, I went up to the river valley instead, inspecting the wall before I turned back, and entered again into the valley gate. City officials did not know I had been out there or what I was doing, for I had not yet said anything to anyone about my plans. I had not yet spoken to the Jewish leaders, the priests, the nobles, officials, or anyone else in the administration. So, it says that Nehemiah arrives at Jerusalem 3 days before he does anything. It doesn't say what he was doing, right? It just says 3 days later. I would have to assume that that's up to his speculation, being that he was a man of prayer, that after he got to the place, he was probably just waiting on the Lord for his direction. one of the things we need to know, when the Lord opens the door, not all the time the Lord tells us to run right away. Sometimes the Lord will open the door and says, wait a little bit. Now, he says he had waited 3 days, and then that he didn't say anything to anybody. But you got to think about it, right? You got to figure something was going on with this guy. One, not everybody knew him, but he came in a whole bunch of army guys, right? And he was carrying all that lumber, coming through the gates. They got to figure out something was going on with this guy, right? But he didn't speak to anybody. He waited 3 days for whatever reason, and then he stepped out and he started checking out the damage. When I was reading that and just kind of looking at the whole thing, he went at night so nobody would see him, right? And so I'm thinking, man, how can they see? Because we're street lights now, right? They never have anything. Maybe the 3 days, because I like to kind of figure out the plot, or maybe the moon was out that night. I don't know, yeah. But he went out and he started looking at the crisis that the city was in, and because he didn't get a good look at everything. When he came in, he just had what the person was said to him, and then what he saw. So now he's out there. I gotta believe that he was right, right? Because it says in the first chapter that when he just heard the news of them being in this situation, he wept for days. Now, can you imagine seeing it, for the first time, like that, just totally destroyed? And I don't know, I was looking at that, I started getting all emotional, how would I feel and everything. And I want this lesson to come out of this is I want us to be careful that we don't deceive ourselves by only looking at the good. I think we ought to look at the good, but whenever we assess things, we got to also look at the bad stuff too. How can we fix something if we cannot recognize what is the wrong? Yeah. So in the situation Paul was sharing, different. Yeah. We look at the good. You never have to assist to a problem. It was what it is. But if we want to rebuild a place, we got to assess. We got to look at what is good and what is bad, and then we got to plan for what our next move is. So, if we only have the heart and the prayer, and we're not going to use it right, we're not going to be able to see what God is saying. We got to look at the problem. We're going to pray about the problem, and we're going to decide how to work with the problem. Now, I started to think about this, okay? We look at our children and we know that we love them, right? How many of you look at your children and you go, oh man, I love my kids, right? But when we look at them, honestly, okay? So I look at my son, Ilana. He's okay, again. I love him. But I have to take an honest look at my son, okay? And I realize that in some of his character, he can be a jerk. I don't like that. And if we don't correct that, it's going to damage him. It's going to he's going to sabotage himself. That's what Nehemiah did when he looked at the wall. Assessing this, if we don't fix this, this is going to be a big problem. Right? So I honestly look at him, I see the weaknesses of his character and the area where he's falling short. And my job as a father, your house job as a mother, is to help him to fix that area. I cannot force him to fix them, but I can give him all the tools, right? I can lead him there. I can show him the support. But he's got to figure it out. Too many parents today, right? And even in relationships, always go, oh, you know what, I see the good. I see the good. Nothing wrong with that. But see the bad, because the bad good needs to get fixed, because if that bad continues, the good disappears real quick. Does that make sense? Same thing in church, right? If we see good, oh, everybody is so happy, we're getting along, yeah? But then we see some weaknesses, and we don't correct the weaknesses. Eventually that weakness will contaminate the good. And now the good will be less and the bad will be more. Does that make sense? That's the heart behind Nehemiah. He says, you know what? We did enough damage to ourselves, right? Now let's fix it. No longer let people look at us with disgrace. We are the children of God. This is His land. We're going to fix what is wrong. Fix the things that didn't work out, and we're going to make it work according to the plan of God. Because as much as I want to change Him, I cannot change Yolanda, but I know somebody who can. He's God. Right? Nehemiah 2:17-18. But now I say to them, you know very well what trouble we are in. Jerusalem lies in ruins, and its gates have been destroyed by fire. Let us rebuild the walls of Jerusalem and end this disgrace. Then I told them about how the gracious hand of God had been on me, and about my conversation with the king. They replied at once, yes, let's rebuild the wall. So they began the good work. You know, it's so funny when I tell, we don't want them to know the bad stuff when they're our kids. So we don't tell them. Yeah. But, you know, I used to always think that when we got together, Keller and I, we had kids, it was like, how do I tell them when they ask how we met? You guys can all find out. She's like, she could get real good deals on joints for me. That's how I met her. And then we started, you know, a drug addict. I see her walk, she's getting me good deals for my money. She was getting such a good deal, she was even stashing some on the side, and they still thought I was getting a good deal. Right? But she was getting a better deal. But long story short is that I wanted our kids to know that we didn't get off the right way. I even take them to where we were living on the beach. Yeah, I would show them all the places. This is how we try to hide the mistakes that we made in hopes that the kids will not make the same mistakes. But how can they make corrections and they'll see the damage that he was in? We want to be like that. That's what we want. How long will it like that? Right? So, I think it's wise for us, like Nehemiah, he says, you know, I was praying. And you know, me and God came up with a plan, so I'm going to tell you this plan. Right? So I tell them what God has done for us and how God has taken us from that place. It's time to tell the people what was going on. We can all see the mess we are in, and it's time to fix it, right? I have to wonder if people just got used to living like that. You know, because we can all get used to just say, yeah, that's how it is. We do it all the time, yeah. It is what it is. It doesn't mean you gotta stay there. Right? When you step in a pool, but you're like, well, I stepped in it, you don't just stay there, right? You can wash it off. You can stay there if you like, but it doesn't make sense. You clean it up and you move on. Now, Nehemiah goes on to explain the vision and rebuild the wall, and this is huge, gem. You know, that our job here is to do that. My job here is to help people, and then people's job is to help other people, and then we start raising people to become great testimonies of the Lord. The great testimonies is their failures. The great testimonies is their weakness, and how God came in and made them strong. Right? Sometimes we think that the best witnesses is God is good and God is great. No, that's true and that is awesome. But let me tell you the story of a broken man. Let me tell you the story of a troubled family. Maybe you read this book, you're going to catch a really good glimpse of that. You see, we have staff meeting for a reason. The staff meeting is leaders come together, we share the preaching this way with the church. Whether it's good or bad. If it's bad, we come together and figure out how we can make it good. If it's good, we continue to say, okay, let's continue moving in that direction. Together, we build the walls of the church and we keep it the place where Jesus can continue to rule. Anytime we fail at the foundation of Jesus Christ, We will build walls upon ourselves, our pride, it will eventually crumble. Now, Nehemiah 2:19, told Sanballat, Tobiah, and Geshem, the Arab heard of our plans. They scoffed, continued contemptuously. What are you doing? Rushing. Are you rebelling against the king? They asked. Now, these three guys, I want you guys to remember them. Okay, because remember I told you guys earlier, the three deadliest sins, three deadliest enemies we have. So you're going to hear about these guys quite often. Sanballat is going to be referenced or symbolizing Satan. Tobiah, the world, and Geshem, the body, desire. Can you remember that a little bit from last week? Okay. Now, this guy is mocking, basically calling Nehemiah a fool. Say, what are you thinking? Nothing's going to happen. And they're going to taunt and make trouble. We have to be able to start realizing that when these attacks come, we need to join forces. When attacks is happening in Rob's life, our job is to come around Rob and surround her. While she's building her stone, we'll talk about this later on. She's putting her wall back together. Our job is to protect her in prayer that the enemy doesn't come and attack. Okay? So it goes out. We're going to go tell the king, basically. Such girls, huh? Oh, tell the king what you're doing. They had no idea the king gave them all the permission and all this stuff. And it just shows the ignorance to their knowledge. They don't know what they talk about and they talk to. Second thing, it shows their lack of reverence towards God. That they saw the king higher than God. Nehemiah 2:20, I replied, the God of heaven will help us succeed. We, his servants, will start rebuilding this wall, but we have no share, legal right, or historic claim to Jerusalem. Nehemiah is basically saying, no matter what you're going to do, no matter how much you're going to come against us, God's work will succeed. The thing I want you guys to hear, and I'm going to close here, okay, is that never forget, you can have the whole world against you. Everything can be coming against you. You're like, oh, it's me. But one with God makes majority. That all this can be against me, but I am in agreement with what God has written about me. My agreement with God becomes majority. What he says must come to pass. If we get this understanding, you will never again be defeated. You will always be challenged, but you won't be defeated. We are created to be great warriors of the King. Right? Kings. Not the king of